The honor of being thought of as a curator deeply satisfied me and intrigued me. Actually, the act of curating, I think, can be so wonderful because you can install a landscape and ethos. I say recently I feel like a poet. So it allows me to be a poet of sounds, of colors, and of words, and of theatre. I got interested in theatre very young, and the theatre is nothing more than kind of like a long breathing inside the city. You know, the perennial concept of theatre, even inside like the ancient Greek city, was the place of the meeting. Even in Shakespearean times, like everybody was meeting there, eating. It was a full experience of a day. The comedians making you express your emotion, feel them, but also an experience of togetherness, community, around imagination, which I always thought was brilliant. You have that special vibe with this festival as well, by having this anchored place that becomes so alive in all its directions, and that kind of like can become a ship where you can, you know, be like pirates and fighting for imagination inside of it. A festival where you go to see music and you encounter a dance piece. I like this idea that you can be introduced to things and new sensations when you come. The question of like actually the politics of the bodies is also so much about the politics of the space, you know what I mean? To give a space back to those performers. Because the question of the fight around space and time and the right to even exist inside your body is insane, and it's still going. And I feel like the queerness is there, but it feels like a repetition of the same question instead of unlocking the next stage of that question. For me, queer was the first question, the first bending. Oh, actually, this norm is a construction. Theatre is everywhere. And we are responsible of this common language we have as human beings and how we relate to each other, so we should keep on questing on it. Instead of like going further in that question of queerness, of slowly dissolving the boundaries of patriarchy, of softening everybody's lives and possibilities with an opening scope of what a body can be and a human experience can be. We are repeating the same thing. We are repeating the same question. And it's always about, oh, do we have the right to be here? We shouldn't have to ask this question anymore. We should look back in history and see that we've been invisibilized, that the space has been taken away from us, even the life away from our bones. So we should rehabilitate some memory, which is the case in any oppressed minority. But then we should create a different space, quoi. And I feel like those spaces of theatre, why am I even happy to say yes, even though it was kind of like quite impressive to be asked so young, and you know, because all of a sudden we are inside this ship together, it's free for a second, and we can do whatever we want with the ship, and we can create the world we would like to live in. I think it's quite crucial today to stay revolutionary inside a system that kind of is, even in the approach of queerness, very eager to box things up, label them up, sell them fast, you know, make them sexy, make them presentable. There is a sense of ugliness in the surge of the question of the flesh that the performer doesn't have to shy away from. Because I feel like this society is so much about dissociation in the end. Like, I'm dysphoric, but this whole society is very dissociated. So we have a conversation that can link us all together, and it's about community togetherness, the presence of the flesh. So I was like, yeah, when you go to a theatre, a museum, and a gig, you are bringing a bit of yourself in the conversation, and what you feel make you more aware of everything you are. I love art, like this process of revelation. The more I'm getting older, the more I'm actually comfortable in being radical myself on my instincts. There is a sense of satisfaction now that comes from the path itself and the process being done. When I was younger, I was sometimes a bit more scared. Now the scare part is gone, and I'm scared when I don't feel like something drastic is at play, because I'm scared for my life to actually be empty of meaning. Now the quest of the meaning makes that easy. If I can, my good sirs, I want to die enlightened. And I want to die with my spirit just there in my face, so people can see what type of man I've been. So I don't know exactly what the journey will be, but that's the aim. I'll be probably wearing the same suit.